Hello everybody, this is AK. I'm back. So as I shared in my YouTube community tab, I'm going to have a very busy month in July, right? So I'm going away to a faraway place. So before I get too busy, I'm going to do this quarterly update very quickly, right? What's my second quarter 2024 passive income, right? Of course, people know that AK is lazy and AK enjoys passive income, and I have so many hobbies. I simply do not have enough time to enjoy all of them to the fullest. So he has to rotate. And of course, blogging and YouTubing, they are all hobbies as well, right? So don't have as much time for this as I had before, as a number of hobbies grow. Um, and I suppose this is how retirement should be like, right? You know, we are doing things not because we have to and not because we depend on them to make a living. I mean, I don't have to do blogging or YouTubing in order to make a living, and that's what retirement is. You know, if I were churning out blogs and YouTube videos daily because I need the money and I say I'm retired. Well, I'm not retired, right? It isn't retirement. I'm still working, but as a blogger, as a YouTuber, all right. So that's not retirement I would want, right? So anyway, like I say in my blog, I have to step on the brakes, or this is going to turn out into a video on FIRE, financial independence, retire early, right? So how much did I get in passive income in second quarter 2024 from my investment portfolio? It's $81,339.05. Yeah, 5 cents, right? This is more or less the same as the year before, right? Second quarter 2023, I received $79,000, $79,774.61. Right, so more or less the same. You know, it's a slight increase of more than $1,000. No big deal. And the reason for this kind of a flat performance, right, is that some investments in my portfolio, such as Ames APAC REIT, Fraser's Logistics, Vicom, Raffles Medical Group, some investments like this have generated less income for me year on year, right? So less this year than last year. So even though I receive higher income, more income from my investments in DBS, OCBC, and UOB, the uplift is less noticeable, right? So it's been offset by lower passive income from some other investments, right? So, but I'm still happy. I'm still quite happy because it's a steady boat, right? No major changes. It's a steady boat, and in my retirement, I'm not seeking greater growth, but I am seeking steady stream of meaningful passive income. Meaningful as in it provide me with a comfortable retirement, and I don't have to worry too much. And as I revealed in my last video, I've been socking away more money in SSBs and T-bills so much that they have become a significant part of my portfolio, right? And this has grown the risk-free bond components of my portfolio. And of course, it will also contribute to my passive income, right? Although not by much, you're talking about 3%, 3.75, 73% yield, under 4% per annum in yield. But they will contribute something to my total passive income, right? And with interest rates having peaked, and the expectations for them to gradually reduce into next year, I still see our local banks as better investments than most other investments for investors like myself, right? Who invest for income, right? And now with DBS, OCBC, and UOB accounting for more than 45% of my portfolio, I do expect a steady stream of passive income, barring the unthinkable, for all World War III breaks out or something like that. And of course, I'm not old enough to have experienced a global conflict, so I don't have any playbook for that kind of situation other than how I should have some precious metals and maybe even Bitcoin in my portfolio, right, as a hedge, right. The question is always, what if something were to go wrong, right? And I think we already had a taste of that during the pandemic years, right? The economy came to a standstill, or more or less a standstill, and back then I blogged about how I was worried, because my passive income reduced, dividends were slashed and suspended in some cases, and that has influenced the way I made decisions on investments. Right, the pandemic has influenced the way I made decisions on investments after I saw how dividends were slashed and suspended, and what was the most important thing to look out for in a company, right? And I said strong balance sheet was very important, or else we could see dividends slashed or even suspended, right? And in the worst case scenario, the company could just close down, right? Shut down totally, right? So the takeaway from the pandemic years, that wasn't the only takeaway. The takeaway was also the importance of having a buffer when we invest for income, a buffer. And it's not just an emergency fund, because an emergency fund can only last us so long. Really, if a 6 months emergency fund, it only lasts us 6 months. We can stretch it a bit, maybe if we reduce our expenses a little bit more, right? But an emergency fund can only last us so long, right? The importance of having a buffer, the buffer also comes in the form of having more passive income, so that even when passive income should reduce, we can still be quite comfortable, right? And the more buffer we have, of course, the better, right? And in third quarter 2024, in the next 3 months, I suspect my passive income is going to reduce year on year, right? And I'll be quite surprised if there isn't any reduction, right? And this is because I reduced my investment in Sabana REIT significantly. And I mentioned this in my last video as well. And of course, Sabana REIT was one of my largest investments before, right? $100,000 to $199,000, that kind of that bracket, right? So there will be some impact from the reduced exposure to Sabana REIT in terms of passive income. But like I say in my blog, 1 quarter does not make a year. I will just have to wait and see how the whole year unfolds. And I would be quite happy if the full year passive income for 2024 comes in more or less the same as last year. Right. So overall, I'm quite happy. And I always say this, if AK can do it, so can you. Bye-bye.